Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Thank you again. How's it going? Is it marvelous? Thank you. Don't forget to write that in the evaluation that you'll be getting. We're teaming along. After this, we're gonna have lunch. So I hope that you have enough stamina in you to just sit around for a few more minutes. This is gonna be a very short panel. 20 minutes, I think we have for this discussion. So my name is Yngvil, and I am very happy to talk a little bit about one of the incubator thoughts that I'm thinking of, and when NCE does some work on kind of putting the ear to the ground in the community and figuring out what the needs are, which is kind of what we always start doing, then one of the things that always comes up is venues, and particularly venues for those who don't buy liquor yet, and maybe never will, because the new generation don't drink as much as my generation. Anyway, and there's a lot more to talk about with what all ages actually means. But we have today a wonderful group of people that I can just disclose that we met yesterday to talk a little bit independently of the summit about what all ages and what venues need and mean, and see if we can kind of keep getting together regularly. But in that regard, we sort of talked a little bit about what our concerns are, what we want to see happening in Anchorage and so on. So let me first just do a quick round of introduction. On the far end here, we have Ajay. And can you talk about yourself?
I'm RJ Fontaine. I'm the Manager and Community Engagement Coordinator for the Nave in Spenard, the building in which we are standing today. We are proud to partner with Music Alaska, Northern Culture Exchange, local programs like Community Cafe. Spenard Song Circle was here for a really long time. We love music. We appreciate music. We have a very large pie chart with all the different events that we host throughout the year. And we'd love to see more music in that pie chart in coming years.
Okay, great. And then we have over here in the middle. We're going to come back to all of that.
Sorry, I'm excited.
It's great. She is excited to be here. This is her place. Give it up for RJ. I cannot tell you how amazing it's been to be here and see different people walk through the building before it was even intended to be a venue like it has become. But the last 2 years has been amazing. So it's a real art center, and thank you for what you're doing. Yes, you.
Hi, my name is Vered Mattis, and I am the owner of the Writer's Block Bookstore and Cafe just down Spenard Road. We are obviously a bookstore and a cafe, as it says right in our name, but we are also a performance venue and a host for visual artists, writers, musicians, and spoken word, and we do a lot catered to all ages events and more early evening events, so we're not your late night event. And we have sort of been built mostly by the community, and we turn 7 next week.
Woo!
Miracles.
And I also want to thank Vered and the Writer's Block for feeding the crew last night, and for feeding you in part today. You're going to see some wonderful chili and cornbread that's been donated by Writer's Block out there at lunch. So thank you for that.
Hello, my name is Joel Loosli. I own a space downtown in the Peterson Tower. It's called the Cove. It's a place where I sit down and design all of my apparel all day long, and then I also have it for sale. In addition, we also have the walls adorned with local visual artists, and we do First Fridays with live music generally, either musicians or DJs. And basically just try and promote audio and visual art. And every once in a while, we do some private music events in there as well.
Thank you. That's the Cove downtown. So now you've met them, and some of you know all or some of these guys. I wanted to explore in this quick panel here something about what they're doing now and what they want to see, and that's kind of what these questions are going to be around. But I kind of want you to talk a little bit about your situation in the sense that because these are three quite different venues, but they have in common a lot of things too. They're in Anchorage and we see each other all the time, but the actual operating conditions or the organization or the financials or whatever it is that we discovered yesterday, we have so much in common, and yet dealing with completely different animals in terms of what our business looks like. So can you talk a little bit about the space here, the building, quickly about the history, how it got to be this, and yeah, how that all kind of hangs.
I'll try to be as quick as I can. For anyone not familiar with the Nave, previously called the Church of Love, it used to be an old Baptist church back in the day. And then the congregation left the state. The building was up for sale. Cook Inlet Housing Authority next door owns and operates the building now. They bought the property initially intending to turn it into a parking lot for their office space. But local artists who were working in the building making really cool
like
experimental art. We have 8 studios in the space, visual artists, sculptors, writers, some writing. We've got painting, a lot of music, thank you to Northern Culture Exchange, and Anchorage Youth Orchestras is in the space. But at the time, it looked very different. This was pre-renovation. It wasn't safe really to be in. It wasn't up to code. And they advocated for the space's use as a hub for community culture and art. And Cook Inlet Housing really listened to that. They partnered with local organizations, local funders, to renovate the space and turn it into what you see today, which is a multi-purpose community venue. It is a hub, it is a shell for different partners, different organizations, and artists to come through and connect with community. So community, culture, and art, that is at the core of our mission. I am an employee of Cook Inlet Housing Authority, and as an entity that focuses affordable housing, this is new and very experimental for this organization. I have an arts background, and so I really love working with community and different types of artists. So they brought me in 2 years ago, as of this February, to kind of help amplify and move along a lot of the ideas that they and the community have in the space. So our goal is for Spenard to be celebrated as the community it is, which is very creative and vibrant and diverse. And our programs and events that take place here are meant to be a reflection of that. We are not a funder, which is, that presents its own challenges sometimes, but our goal is to partner with funders. I'm not supposed to be running all the programs. This is for the community to come in and do that. So I'm kind of the middle person between the artist, the idea, and the community. So we want to connect people with ideas. And so we don't have a restaurant, we don't have a bar on site. We depend very much on funding from Cook Inlet Housing Authority, from local grants, state grants, federal grants where we can get them. NEA sometimes will fund amazing programs like Community Cafe that can see themselves in this space, and then we're able to work with them on that basis. And also our Spenard Second Saturday series, where we sponsor space use once a month for local artists, visionaries, organizations who want to make something happen. So if you're a musician in the space, say you're working with us on a second Saturday, you keep all the ticket sales. You're responsible for figuring out if you want to have a mocktail bar in the space, or food, or if you want to take tickets, or if you want it to be a free show. We have no oversight over that at all. We can guide you if you need resources or if you need to connect with funding. But that's just a very tiny tip of the iceberg of ways that we want to engage artists. We have a fine art fair every year, an art camp for kids that incorporates music, storytelling, drama, theater, visual arts, you name it. And then when Northern Culture Exchange or Music Alaska comes through with an awesome program like this Music Summit, and we have a chance to partner with them in a more intentional way or sponsor the space, we really want to do that. And the way we can do that is by community rentals. So if somebody has a wedding here, we limit the number of weddings we have per year, but that helps offset the cost of doing like a Spenard Second Saturday series. So tiny snippet, trying to be really fast with that, but we're growing and changing all the time. We value your feedback and input. And if there's something that we can't accommodate in the space, either due to the nature of our funding, the size of the event, or if it's someone who is kind of just starting out, would like maybe a smaller venue but doesn't know where to start, we love to refer people to local organizations and partner with them. So Aquila Space is an amazing example of a venue that is doing really great work in the community. Rage City Vintage next door, shout out to Rage City. Got my pantsuit from them. They're also a music venue. So yeah, I will stop talking now, but come find me if you have questions.
Yay. Okay, We're going to come back to RJ. I have one more question for her later, but Vered, tell us about writer's block, a little bit about the history of it and where it is now after 7 years. Just can you take us through 7 years in like 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right. This is a challenge for my writerly brain. So in 2015, we acquired the property that was formerly known as Adults Only. And with the help, actually, of Cook Inlet and a number of artists, Bruce Farnsworth, Sheila Wine, and I think about 30 other artists, including Chad Taylor, who is very heavily involved with this place, we turned it over for a neighborhood intervention, and we turned the inside sex trafficking store inside out and brought the community in. Then we donated it to the SWAT team, and they blew it up. And then we hauled it off to the dump, the remaining rubble, and we built the current building, and we opened in 2018. In the beginning, there were 4 of us, all female. It's always been a woman-owned and minority-owned business. So in the beginning, with the 4 of us, we had Tika Ballas, Donnell Smith, Kathy McHugh, and myself. Those 3 other women were phenomenal, amazing human beings who really helped to get things going. And earlier this year, I bought them all out because they all have very busy lives as doctors, teachers, and environmental law firm activists. And it just made sense. So now it's run by me and the staff, and we continue to be a safe space for the entire LGBTQ plus community. We put on a Pride block party every year that's for the community, that's free and open to the public. We've hosted national touring acts for musicians. We've had everybody from Watsky to most recently we've had Michael Gulesian. We had Rachel Barton Pine, who's a phenomenal classical musician who played with Pantera and Metallica. It's kind of cool. We've had Tomo Nakayama, and we've partnered with a lot of people to bring in acts for all ages shows. And we have a phenomenal menu. Our food is designed to be clean. It is prepared from scratch, everything 100%. And we turn out a little over 5,000 to 7,000 meals every year that we give away to whomever needs it. And it's not through any specific program. We just do it because we can. So that's kind of where we are. We are sort of by, for, and about the community, former porn store turned literary music and arts gathering brouhaha.
Fantastic. Very Alaskan. Thank you very much.
Hello, again, Joel with the Cove. I opened that up in 2022, I believe, with one of my best friends, Brett Roberts, who is a musician, painter, actor, writer, man of all trades. I've known each other since we were like 8 years old. We happened upon the space with a friend of ours who is an incredible philanthropist, Josh, and we basically opened it up to initially display a lot of Brett's paintings and then my apparel as well. We did the first Fridays and we had live music. Live music was always sounded really good in there, especially it looked awesome too with the visual backdrop, and it kind of just always been eating at me to kind of want to utilize the space a little bit better and do more along the lines of music as well. So that's one of the things that I'm going to be getting into a little bit later is my vision for how that space can be used to serve the musicians and the visual artists.
And could you actually keep talking about that behind you? We have a still image from a video with, is Shane in the room?
Shane.
Oh, Shane Russell. Okay. So what we have a few more minutes left. I told you we've got to just move it forward. We're going to go back the same way we went, but you could maybe carry on. Just talk a little bit about one thing that your venue, that's what I want everyone to mention at the end here. One thing that your venue specifically now needs or would like to make happen. And I think you were on the verge of starting to talk about that. So why don't you?
So the idea came to me about doing some sort of like tiny desk concert kind of a thing in our small space where we actually have the artists, the musicians, have a video professionally done, recorded, edited and actually given to the musicians to use for self-promotion, as well as links to if you see artwork on the walls during the videos that you'd like to get more information about how to pick that up. And but I wanted to make sure that everybody gets paid. I've been an artist most of my life, and promotion bucks don't pay the bills. As much as I like to donate my time and energy, I can't pay the bills that way, and I know a lot of musicians feel the same way, and other artists. And so as part of this, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like, hey bro, can you do this whole video thing and spend 40 hours? You're not going to get paid, but it's for the goodwill of our community and other artists, right? Cool. No, so everybody's going to get paid, but it is an expensive venture, and we're on the precipice of getting some pretty good funding to make this happen, but there's going to be some shortcomings, of course. But I think that this is going to be such a cool thing to do for musicians, because I know that a lot of them struggle with having a professionally done video of them performing that will allow them to hopefully get booked at venues kind of elevated both in-state and out-of-state.
Thank you so much, Joel. Yeah, and we wish you good luck with the tiny desk at the Cove. Watch out for that in 2025.
The Cove Sessions.
Yes, the Cove Sessions. And Vered, we talked a little bit yesterday about, and earlier, about one particular thing that you're sort of looking to figure out, and I love you for having this question, and you will love her for having this question. What is it that you're seeking?
So one thing that we have been struggling with over the years, and I know that it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with musicians, is what does fair compensation look like? We need to know as venue people, it's not necessarily what we as business people have in mind. And over the years, in the beginning when we were broke and had no money, we really did rely on the kindness and goodwill of a lot of musicians. We have now moved into the space where nobody performs for free, and it doesn't matter whether it's ticketed or Sunday brunch, we do pay. But what we don't know is, what does that look like for fairness, for equity, for the time and energy that you're putting into it? And a lot of people think that exposure is a great thing, and I've reminded more than one musician and artist that exposure is a great way to die. And we all know that here in Alaska, that you can die from exposure. And exposure doesn't pay your
bumper
bills.
sticker.
Right? Exposure doesn't pay your bills. But we also know that not all venues are created equally, right? So the difference between a cafe that might, on the course of a day, draw in $1,000 total to pay the entire staff and musicians, that this might not allow for the kind of budget that is really what honors the skill and talent that each musician brings to the table. So what I have been seeking and trying to learn is, how do we help make that equitable, whether it is having shorter sets so that you can be paid fairly for a shorter period of time, or whether we do ticketed events, and how we see that go. So we've been pretty flexible, but I do think that it's important that we have an open dialogue, not just because we're a small all ages venue, but I think all venues that are hosting music and giving performance spaces, I think it's really important that we have these open conversations, not as adversaries, but actually as a collaboration and partner to support the creativity that you bring to the table. We recognize that when somebody comes in for our Sunday brunch, that the music that is playing, even if the show itself is free, that music is a big reason why people show up. Yeah, the food might be great, the staff is friendly, the space is comfortable, but it's actually that there's this other thing, and we're not paying you for exactly the 2 hours that you're performing. We're paying you for the 20 years it took you to learn how to perform for 2 hours. So we need to have that conversation of what that looks like. And so I'm asking, when musicians come into my space or other spaces, to not be afraid to have that conversation and to figure out what looks fair and equitable with future events and venues. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Appreciate
for
it.
that. And RJ, you have so far spoken faster than all of us, so I know you can take this away in the 1 minute that's left before we have to break for lunch. I'm so sorry that this is a fast one and no pressure whatsoever. But go. What is the Nave, and what are you as a venue manager for the Nave looking for in the near or distant future? What is it?
The Nave is all about partners and sustainability for our community, for keeping this building afloat, for keeping the artists who work in our spaces sustained and creatively engaged. It's for the residents who live across the street from the Nave in Penguin Court, whether they're in Cook Inlet Housing Authority resident buildings or they're in local apartment buildings. We want people to have a place to go where they can engage with each other in person and offline. For us, when we're working with youth, especially as an all-ages venue, safety and security are of utmost importance because people are trusting us with their kids. We're not a venue that's out to make money off of entertainment. That's not our business model at all. That's where we differ from a lot of traditional venues. We're here to partner for programs and accommodate community events where you can make this place your own. There's no art on the walls in here because we want it to be a blank canvas for you when you come in. And yes, we have a lot going on in the space. I can talk about it forever. I know I've got 1 minute left. But again, partner sustainability. If you would like support when you're writing a grant for a program that fills a community need, or you have a vision as an artist, you want to connect with the community to engage with them in a way that is educating, enlightening, or fills a need, such as like youth need mentorship. Awesome, come talk to us, because if it's something that we can't accommodate or fund, we can connect you with partners who can fund it or accommodate it, or we can partner with them and have it happen in the space. So we're very different from a traditional venue in a lot of senses. We're definitely new for Cook Inlet Housing Authority, we're new for Anchorage, and we're new for me as someone with an entertainment background. Sometimes it's hard to wrap my head around it. However, I'm always happy to chat. Come find me after this talk if you'd like. I'm happy to give you my card, and we can share ideas together. That's what the Nave is about, is connecting community with ideas. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So thank you again to RJ, Vered, and Joel. But please talk to all of us about the issues that we've discovered that we need to move forward on. And also think now, as a segue, I want to thank the panel. Thank you for coming. And now we're going to turn to the final thing before lunch, because one little thing to whet your appetite. These guys have talked about what they think they need to move forward. What is a good thing that you could reach for to level up, to hit the next level. We're gonna get Mr. Whitekeys up on the stage to let you guys contribute and think about how you can level up. Thank you to the panel.